Be still and be silent, for I, the eighth and Black King, shall deal with these foes personally. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, and I'm here today to review the anime K. Now this anime takes place in modern day Japan, where powerful beings known as the Seven Kings and their clans control power over the country and clash among themselves. From here we follow Yashiro Isana, a seemingly normal high school boy who is suspected of being one of the kings, the seventh and colorless king, as well as being responsible for the murder of one of the Red King's clans members, which gets them all angry and riled up and seeking vengeance. Now being in this dire situation with so many questions on his mind, in order to clear his name, he must find the real killer and also learn more about his past. With knowing absolutely nothing about this anime, I was pretty intrigued to see what it was going to be all about. And after watching the entire first season of this anime, yes, I am very well aware that there's a movie and a second season to this anime, and I will address that later on in this review. I thought it was a very solid anime and a great build-up to the world of K. The first season, without question, was an establishing season, introducing you to its world and its people, and it did a really good job at doing so. First one up to bat, as always, is the animation done by Go Hands. Yes, that is actually the name of the animation studio, Go Hands. And they're also the same studio behind the animation for Setokai Yakuin Domo. And after seeing this anime, I would have never have guessed that they also did the animation for Setokai Yakuin Domo, because that anime has very basic and simplistic animation, something that is very fitting for a comedy anime. But this one, K, was much more stylized, much more energetic, lively, and colorful. It almost feels like this studio put like their AAA team to make K and then put the rest of the staff like B all the way down to work on Setokai Yakuin Domo. Not saying that Setokai Yakuin Domo has bad animation, but when you compare the two, there is no competition. K is way better. Better character designs, better fast-paced fluid animation, better colors, better everything. Which in turn made for some really fun and exciting action sequences with many cool showdowns. Whether it be king versus king, clan versus clan, or old friends turn rivals, all the action sequences were solid. Now the first season of K is available in English dub and Japanese sub. I for one have no real preference, but I decided to give the English dub a try. And I thought that the English voice actors and actresses did a really good job at bringing the characters to life, and I felt like most of them fit the characters that they were voicing, with some really solid performances from Todd Haberkorn and also my man Johnny Young Bosch. So in a nutshell, this seems to be another hit for Viz Media. Good job, guys. I, for one, found the anime's concept to be rather refreshing, a unique spin on the whole Clash of Clans type story we've seen in other animes. It's like Naruto set in the modern age. Different clans with different allegiance and different powers with different kings that are clashing among themselves time and time again, but also come to resolutions in order to keep the peace. And the story is intriguing enough to keep one invested into what's going on, with many twists, turns, and reveals along the way. I mean, throughout this season, the story keeps you guessing as to what the end game will be, and whether or not Shiro is actually responsible for the death of this Red Clan's member. Stuff like that is how you keep the audience coming back for more. Although don't leave them completely in the dark with some stuff. We'll get to that later. And lastly, the characters. All of them were pretty solid, with most of them being really enjoyable and getting some development thrown their way, and others had some really strong, well-established relationships. Like, you get a sense that there's some deep history between these characters. Like the Blue and Red King, they may not have spoken of their past, but you get an understanding that these two have formed a really strong bond over the years in more ways than one. But when discussing strong development and chemistry, no other clan comes close than the Red Clan Homura. But to be fair, they do get a majority of the focus and attention given to them than any other clan in this anime. And there are a few clans that could have got the development, but we only focused on the Red Clan. But to be fair, they are the most interesting and the most entertaining, as they have the most colorful characters in their clan. And honestly, I felt just a strong camaraderie among its members. They're not just a gang of thugs who are brainless and being controlled by this really crazy and eccentric king. No, they are one strong family that deeply cares for each of its members, so that when one of their members is slain, they all come in full force to take down the guys responsible. With my personal favorite member of Homura being Yata, the foul-mouthed, hot-headed, girl-fearing skateboarding general. The guy is just freaking cool and awesome and has probably the coolest power set in the entire anime, utilizing his skateboard as part of his attack. And yes, I know it's probably cliche to like the character, but he's so freaking badass. How could you not like him? Not to take anything away from the main character, Yashiro. He's a solid character. I really relate to him. He's a likable dude. He has a strong relationship with Koro and Neko, and the three of them have very playful interactions and a strong bond. But when you leave this anime, the only group you're thinking about is Homura. They are the coolest. Now comes time to address some of the issues that I found with this season. Now keep in mind, these are just issues I found with the first season of K, not the entire series. I understand that there's a movie that does kind of delve into the Green King, and I haven't seen the second season, but I'm sure a majority of the faults I found with the first season may be addressed in the second season. But this is the review for the first season, and these were the issues I found with it. Please, please, please keep that in mind. Probably the first season's biggest issue is that it does leave you in the dark on so many things. Many questions go unanswered and many things left unexplored. A few of the questions that I personally had that went unanswered were: how are the Seven Kings chosen? Is there a process they have to go through? Is it just given to them? Is it through a reincarnation process like Avatar: The Last Airbender? The movie sort of touches on this question, but never fully explains it. It's just like, here, you're the next king, ba-boom, complete, but just no explanation behind it. What is the true purpose of the Seven Kings? What do they do in this world? They do make mention that the kings are the ones in real control of Japan, not the prime minister or the government. They're the ones that are kind of making the rules, but why do they make the rules? I mean, yes, they're super powerful and all that, but why? What is their purpose in this world? Is it just to fight? Is it to bring peace? Is it to gain power? What is the purpose? Are everyday people aware of the Seven Kings? Do they know that they exist? Do they know that magic exists? Do they know that the Seven Kings are the ones that hold true power in Japan? It's never really addressed in the anime. I mean, sure, they have fights in public, but no one really talks about it after the fight is over. No one like puts the headline like weird thing shows up in the sky, or random explosions happening all across the city, people with magical powers causing mayhem. Nowhere is this addressed, and none of the regular characters ever really bring it up as something that is out of the ordinary. So I must ask, do they know about it? Are they aware of it, or are they just completely oblivious to it? And while on that subject, the first season also brought up the concept of strays. These people who aren't affiliated with any clans but also retain magical powers. What are strays? Are they people who were once part of a clan and left a clan? Or are they naturally born with powers? Like, explain a little bit, anime? I have more questions, but I don't want to bore you guys with question after question after question. I just wanted to address a few of the major ones that I had that I think probably some of you have as well. And I'm pretty sure that in later seasons they will answer these questions. I hope they do. Another major issue I saw with the first season, and something that I also saw in the movie, is that they don't really explore the dynamics of the other clans. Silver, gold, blue, green, and colorless. They put so much focus and attention on the Red Clan Homura that it takes away from all the other clans to see how they all work. What's the relationship between their members? Is it solid? Is it a little wonky? Do they not trust each other? You don't understand what the dynamic of each of the different clans are. And the final issue with the first season, which also ties into a question I asked earlier, were the regular characters, the regular humans in the anime. they were extremely lacking. They didn't really add much to the anime. I mean, it would have been so interesting to see their perspective of the 7 clans and the powers and magic that they see in front of their eyes. Maybe it'd be the first time they ever see it and they're like, oh my god, what's going on? Then maybe they get roped in to all the conflict and struggle and then they become part of a clan or something like that. It would have been so fascinating to see a regular person's perspective, but you're never given it. And this last bit's not a con, just an observation I noticed throughout the first season that kind of made me chuckle, because I don't know whether or not it was intentional or unintentional, but it was the homoerotic moments between the male characters in the first season, specifically between the Red and Blue King and Yashiro and Kuro. When the Red and Blue King would like share a conversation, they always stare at each other with such intensity, as if they want to just rip each other's clothes off or something. They share like these really close, sentimental moments with each other. In fact, there's one scene where the Blue King pins the Red King down, grabs his shirt, and he's literally in kissing distance of the Red King, to the point where I'm just like, just go all the way already. You're already halfway there. Commit, man. And then there's Yashiro and Kuro. The first time Yashiro sees Kuro, he starts blushing. Now, I was thinking maybe she's a female, you know, I'm gonna hear a woman's voice and, you know, maybe she's a girl, but then a man's voice came out, I'm like, okay, that's weird. But then throughout the entire season, he's just like always smiling whenever Kuro says something, or he blushes a lot, and I'm like, are you guys intentionally throwing in all these shonen-ai type elements to the show? Maybe it's fan service for like all the girls that like yaoi and shonen-ai stuff. I mean, the guys got some fan service in this anime. Why can't the girls get some too, right? Fair is fair. Overall, while I did find a few faults with the first season, I do acknowledge that they all can be fixed in a later season if they answer all my questions and explore more of the lore and history of K. Regardless of all that, the anime is still a very solid anime with some fun characters, entertaining action sequences, and fantastic animation. That's why I'm going to give this anime a 4 out of 5 stars. It's definitely worth watching. But anyway, what did you guys think of this anime? Did you find it really enjoyable and intriguing? Or did you find it really boring and dull and you had way too many questions that you just couldn't get into it? And let me know, what is your favorite clan in this anime? Like, what clan would you like to be a part of? Comment below and let me know. And stay tuned, got a couple movie reviews coming your way. And in 2 weeks, guys, 2 weeks, Disney Week will be upon us, so get excited for that. And until then, guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel and be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below, like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'm Tony Watt II, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.